You know, it might be a trial about hush money, but man, oh man, as it raised the Trump campaign a lot of money, $76 million in total contributions last month. We're told they're coming in at a blistering pace this month. In case you're counting with last month, that's $25 million more than Joe Biden. Of course, he has a substantial lead in overall funds available to Brent Buchanan right now, the GOP pollster, messaging strategist. Brent, what do you think of this haul? Not too shabby.
Well, the biggest motivator in human lives, and especially in politics, is emotion. And strong emotions around anger and enthusiasm are really key drivers in fundraising. And I think this trial, the sham trial against Donald Trump, has really created a high level of anger among donors of all types. And there's no way you reach $70-something million in donations in a month just with the wealthy folks. I really do believe once we see those numbers, we're going to realize that a lot of it has actually come from higher net worth individuals that may have been sitting on the sidelines until they've seen what Joe Biden's been doing to Donald Trump.
You know, I know where you're coming from as a GOP pollster. The fact of the matter is, you're quite right. On day one of this, I mean, $326,000 was raised in individual contributions in relatively small amounts. But is this coming from his base? In other words, is he expanding out to disaffected Democrats or independents who might not flip over the guy, but feel he's getting unfair treatment? What are you seeing?
Within the polling data, definitely. We'll have to wait and see what the donation data shows, but there's no way that he's romping in the Sun Belt states or really making it competitive in the Rust Belt states if he's not reaching beyond the traditional base. And I think another piece of this money conversation is that both the candidates are 100% known. There's no new information we're going to find out about either of these guys. And so the money's going to start going towards turnout efforts. And Donald Trump has a lot more to gain from spending in that realm than Biden, who's still spending on persuasion. I think he spent over $20 million so far, and the numbers are only getting worse for him.
I'm curious, it's all money that you want to put to use in battleground states. I can understand that. That's where, you know, Joe Biden has a distinct advantage and has a lot more money at hand to sort of pound those ads. He has in a lot of the swing states, Wisconsin, Minnesota come to mind. Where will the Trump campaign go with this?
I think the Trump campaign is going to start looking at alternative states, but I would actually advise them to not start spending there at this point. They really need to drive home a margin of victory in the traditional states like North Carolina and Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, before they start to expand into places like Minnesota and Virginia, which I've been involved with enough of elections in those two states to know that sometimes it's just fool's gold, and that the fundamentals of those two states are just too hard to overcome. And so he's hopefully going to spend it in those 6 key battleground states and just go ahead and put this one away. It's
a mug's game, and there's no wrong answer thus far, Brent. But if the former president is convicted on any of these counts, all bets off, or does it, heighten his support, certainly among his base?
Yeah, I think it actually helps him, especially when you look at the group of voters that's likely going to decide this election, which they're younger, they're working class, they're more diverse, and they're really ticked off. And many of those folks are going to look at a potentially, well, if he is convicted, Donald Trump, and say, I actually relate now more to this guy than I did before. And that's why I was saying earlier that there's nothing new that's going to come out about these two folks. If you thought Donald Trump was going to be convicted, and he is, then your belief is unchanged. And if you believe that they were going to go after him and you were still going to vote for him, that's unchanged.
Yeah, we'll see. Independents could be the swing on this, so we'll watch it. And you're right, there aren't that many of them right now. Brent Buchanan, thank you very much on all of that.